board meeting. It is Monday, November 17th of 2025, and Ms. Clark will take roll call for us. And first I would look for approval of the consent agenda items below that have items embedded for us, which include the approval minutes from the regular board meeting on October 20th, and the closed session on October 20th, the special board meeting on October 21st, the closed session on October 21st, the board academy meeting on November 3rd, the special board meeting on November 10th, and then the payment of bills, the employee resignations, the employee hires and contracts, the alternative open enrollment applications, and the Tomah High School ESS waivers. Is there anything that anybody needs to pull out? Discussion.
2B for me, please.
2B?
2B.
2B, you need to pull out. Anything else? Otherwise, I would look for approval of A, C, D, and F.
So moved.
Motion by Teresa, do I have a second?
I'll second. Rick can.
All right, second by Rick. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, bringing out payment of bills. Mr. Stevens, you have
Yeah, 2B, just for a clarification, I see the FFA high school with a $19,000 deficit there. Is that we're paying forward for a coming event?
They organize for the national gathering for FFA for all the area schools, and then we pay the bills out, and then they all pay us back.
Okay.
So in a couple months, that will all be.
All right, I saw those.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve the payment of bills?
So moved.
Second? Cindy?
I'll second.
Second by Sue. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we have communication with the public. We have two people signed up. I need to read something first, and we'll get on with that. The board will now entertain public comments for up to 30 minutes. Please note that if you wish to provide public comment to the board, you must register your intention to do so upon arrival at the meeting. You must be a district resident and are requested to preface your comments by an announcement of your name, address, and group affiliation, if applicable. Public comments are limited to a total of 3 minutes in length per individual. When your time is up, I will remind you that your time is over and you should conclude your remarks. Participants must direct all comments to the board and not to staff or other participants. No person may address or question the board members individually. Please note that certain subjects are not appropriate for public comment. Comments that are personally directed, abusive, obscene, irrelevant, or otherwise inappropriate are not permitted. If you make such comments, I will interrupt you and admonish you to refrain from doing so. If you persist in doing so, I will advise you that your time is over and you will not be permitted to offer further comments. All participants are encouraged to ensure that all information offered is truthful and honest. False statements or stigmatizing charges may subject the individual making such statements to legal repercussions, including, but not limited to, defamation claims. In addition, please note that our board has adopted certain policies regarding district management and the roles of the board and its administration play in managing the district. Therefore, please understand that if you may be referred to other district officials, it is apparent from your comments that you have not brought your concern to the attention of the right district personnel so that you can receive the assistance that you need. Finally, please remember that I will be managing this public comment portion of our meeting so that we can meet the objectives I have mentioned in this introduction. So the first person we have signed up is Mr. Vaughn Keel.
I'm Vaughn Keel. I live at 16083 Herring Road, Tomah. Very short. I've been listening to the radio about the school board's plans on the radio, and I myself strongly believe that no referendum for any amount of money will pass at this time. Why not use the same process and see if we can come up with $2 million like we did for land? I also believe the public will not forget the monies wasted towards land when voting comes up in April. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next we have Sharon Seeley.
Hi, my name is Sharon Seeley, 20914 Derby Ave. I am an elementary teacher at Lemonwire, and I'm also Tomah Education Association Vice President. Just want to talk about item number 6A, one of the changes being proposed for the staff handbook. To my understanding and talking with some calendar committee members, they were told that there would be no full-day grading days anymore. Especially teachers really rely on that time, whether it's a full day or a part of the day, to get a lot of things accomplished. removing that would be really tough for all of us. From my understanding is that the calendar committee was told that in lieu of that full grading day, that they would have half a day for PD and half a day for the grading time. And that would be an understanding that the principals would be aware of. And so I was, kind of quizzing, kind of questioning, like, why is it being removed totally from the handbook then if you're going to have some time for grading? So then I was like, so if you think about it, if principals and administration are going to be aware that they're supposed to have a day for this, it needs to be in writing somewhere so it is, people are held accountable for making sure teachers do get that time for their grading part. The other question I have is what happened to the handbook committee? Why does it no longer meet? Why is it not around anymore? Thank you for your time.
Okay, that is all we have for public comment period. So we'll move into reports. And we have recognition of staff and students. And first under that, we have Ms. Ruby Joyce, who is our THS student representative to the Board of Education.
So second quarter started with the government shutdown happening. There's been different clubs coming together. They're each donating as much as they're able to. And we have our in-school food pantry and it has hygiene products, and anybody who needs it can take it. And then as well with that, we also have Rachel's Closet still, so if they need clothing items, they're able to take it. Each club is putting in the money they're able to give out, and then they're gonna create care packages with food for students who need it over the holiday breaks, knowing that they might not be able to get that. And then this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, so Student Council has started a thing called Kindness Clothespins, and they're starting it tomorrow. So everyone in Student Council decorated little pins, and then you clip somebody's jacket or sweatshirt, and it's a compliment. And then DECA just left for their overnight Emerging Leadership Conference, and that's a couple days, and then Thanksgiving break is coming.
Very good. Thank you for all that. Good stuff happening at the high school. Thank you. All right, next we have the Tomah High School FFA program update with some talks about the National FFA Convention, their Parley Pro workshop members that they recently attended, and upcoming FFA events.
Yeah, they're going to stand.
Hi, Kylie with Tomah FFA. We've been really busy working on different events, trips, workshops, other things. A group of members and officers will explain different things. We'll start with LDEs, which is Leadership Development Events, which is different speaking competition events. There's different levels. There's different competitions such as the Parley Pro, extempore speaking, some others. Can't remember them all. And along with this December, we'll be helping out down over with the mobile food pantry, be handing out food items. All right, we'll have Lynn.
My name is Lynn Eek, and I am the reporter of the FFA. And here in December, we will be hosting a porch pot making and decorating. This, like I said, it's December 11th. It will be run from 5 to 7 p.m. Everybody is welcome to join. It is open to the public. If you are interested, you come and make a porch pot. And if you wish to take it home, you wish to take it home. Otherwise, all porch pots that are left behind will get donated back into the community, such as nursing homes, assisted living areas, and other people who we see fit. Those are our main areas we try to donate back into. All materials needed for this porch pots will be provided. All you have to do is come and enjoy, bring your family, have some fun. Thank you, guys.
I'm Allison. I'm going to be talking about National FFA Convention and the Next Gen Conference that will be coming up in March. My experience at National FFA Convention was absolutely incredible. From start to finish, everywhere I looked, I saw blue jackets, excitement, and energy. The general session were full of inspiring stories and unforgettable moments. The expo was huge, and I loved exploring all the colleges, careers, and opportunities that the FFA opens up. I laughed a lot, learned a lot, and met so many amazing people from all over the country. On top of everything at the convention, our chapter did so many fun and memorable activities. We visited a feline rescue, which was such a unique and heartwarming experience. We also went bowling and toured Peru University, getting closer, looking at the campus and the possibilities it offers for the future. One of the highlights was going to Ella Langley and Ernest concert, which made the whole trip even more unforgettable. We even got to explore a Caterpillar visitor center where we saw inspiring equipment and learning more about the industry behind it. It felt like the kind of experience you wish you could relive again in the moment it's over. I'm excited to share that we will be attending the Next Gen Conference, an event focused on developing leadership and involving in career pathways for professionals as part of preparing this opportunity. I was successfully completed a grant application that will help cover the cost of travel and participation. The support made it possible for me to take part in this experience. That will declare the personality and professional growth. The conference is held in North Carolina in March the 3rd through the 7th, bringing together leaders, mentors, and young professionals from across the region. While I am there, I hope to learn from experts in my field, building connections with others, exploring new ideas, and gain skills that I can bring back to the community. I'm especially looking forward to the sessions on power, structural, and technology, as well as the chance to connect with other people who are passionate about creating positive change overall. Attending the Next Gen Conference is important to step in my development, and I'm grateful for the grant to cover the cost, make this opportunity possible for me.
So we actually have 2 students that were selected to go to the Next Gen Conference. They had to apply, and they're competing with students from all 50 states, Puerto Rico, and Guam. We actually got 2 students, which is amazing to get that, and we also have 1 student who is on the waiting list, so keep your fingers crossed. We're hoping to get 3, usually out of the state of Wisconsin. If we get 5 kids total, that's amazing. So we got 2 out of Tomah, which is wonderful. Brooklyn Griffin is the other student, and Allison is the other one, and Kaden is on the waiting list. So hopefully, just to kind of explain that a little bit with that one. But Mackenzie's up next.
My name is Mackenzie, and last week, 11 FFA members got to travel to GET to attend the Parley Pro workshop. Parley Pro is a leadership development event where a team of 6 will learn to run orderly and efficient meetings using parliamentary procedure, as well as developing their leadership, speaking, and critical thinking skills. During this workshop, they learned how Parley Pro works and some of the tips to succeed in this competition. It was a great opportunity for new members to get involved and learn new things, as well as for those who are interested in Parley Pro to expand their knowledge. I know when I went, I learned a lot of new things and had a lot of fun while doing it.
So she currently is on our Parley Pro team, and last year she was on our conduct of chapter meeting, which is for middle school and freshmen, and it's a dip your toes into Parley Pro, and they actually got to go to state convention and compete at the state level last year. So we're hoping that their Parley team will do just as well. Good job. Peyton is up next.
How are you guys doing? I'm Peyton Ake. I'm serving as on the officer team as the treasurer this year. We're currently having a meat and cheese sale. This fundraiser ends on December 1st, and all the profits from the fundraiser will go back into our chapter for our competitions, our educational trips, and our tours that we do. And if you guys would like to buy anything, I'll be having this right here. Thank you guys very much.
So hungry.
Pass it around.
All right, so good evening. I am Caden Fravel. So this year, we will be hosting our annual all-you-can-eat pancake supper on Tuesday, February 24th from 4:30 to 7 p.m. at the high school. This event is a crucial fundraising initiative with all proceeds directly supporting various chapter activities like leadership workshops, career development events, agriculture project enhancements, and equipment purchases. Attendees can enjoy a delightful meal of pancakes, sausage, cottage cheese, applesauce, a fruit and cheese tray, and various beverages for an affordable price of $5. To-go options will be conveniently available for the community members who prefer to dine at home. This supper is made possible through the serving efforts of FFA officers and members, with pancakes generously being made by the Tomah Lions Club. Beyond fundraising, this event serves as a significant opportunity for community engagement, fostering strong relationships between students, the school, and the broader Tomah community. Your support will be invaluable in ensuring the continued success of these essential FFA programs and community connections. Thank you for allowing me to share about this event this evening and what Tomah FFA has to offer for the community. And we hope you are able to attend. And again, it is on February 24th from 4:30 to 7.
And Dr. Lee has guaranteed there will not be a snow day on that day. In the past, we've had it rescheduled a couple times due to snow days, but Dr. Lee is banking on no snow day that day.
Will you be reminding us in February?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
We will. Addie's up next.
Hello, my name is Addie Gerke. I'm a senior and I'm currently serving as one of Tomah FFA's vice presidents. Almost forgot what my job was for a minute. So I'm going to be talking to you about the drive that we're going to be doing during December. So as Tomah FFA, we always try during December to do some sort of, sometimes it's a clothing drive, it might be a canned foods drive. However, it is really difficult to do that because a lot of clubs are trying to help out the community by doing drives like that. And through my trip to state convention last summer, I learned from the lacrosse FFA chapter that they do a pop tab drive. Does everybody know what I mean when I say a pop tab? You know, you open the can. So for anybody that doesn't know, McDonald's actually takes donations of pop tabs, and I'm not sure quite how the process goes, and I wish I would have researched it before I came, but they do it in a way so that they can use it to help community members and just people all around. And I found out that lacrosse does a drive for that. So I'm trying to incorporate this year a pop tab drive through Tomah FFA, and how we would do it is each Timberwolf time at the high school will have their own little container, and whatever Timberwolf time at the end of the month before we go on to holiday break is going to get an incentive, and we haven't quite decided on it yet, but hopefully it's going to be donuts. And so just throughout this month, we are going to be collecting pop tabs, so if you know of anybody that goes to the high school and you save your pop tabs, make sure to give it to them so that they can donate it to our cause. Thank you.
I'm Tegan Bailey, and we're doing 10 products of egg. So what it basically is you nominate any business of your choice, and then they nominate 10, or they do their 10 products and donate them to the food pantry, and then they nominate 3 more businesses. So it's a chain like reaction thing. So the chain just hopefully keeps going, and they're donating it to the Tomah Mobile Food Pantry, so that hopefully Tomah area families can have holiday dinner for their loved ones or whatever during the holiday season.
So it's actually neighbor to neighbor is where it's being donated to. And so Select Sires has donated 12 gallons of milk. So that would be that part of the meal. And then it lists off, and with all of the items, it would make for a full holiday meal is what it is. So we're hoping to have enough sponsors to do at least 25 meals in the community. Do you guys have any questions for them?
Where are you doing the porch pots?
The porch pots will be in the egg
Egg room?
lab, egg room, yes. And it's a good way for the horticulture students also to bring in their floral design principles that they've been learning throughout the semester too at the same time.
I had a question. Are the beef sticks good?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay.
I didn't, for those, because you think it's a, I have to interrupt. Because I was expecting this to be some national organization. But then you look at the top, and I have to put a plug in. It's Hamburg cheese, Voss Fine Meats, Craig's Meats, and then they have the gift box. So this is all local. And so I'm very impressed with that. So I will be taking care of that in just a minute.
Can you send it back down this way? Because I
Yeah.
have to ask that. Can I drop it off at the high school? I'm not a cheese meat person.
We try when we do our fundraisers, the meat and cheese, we try to get everything local and support our local egg products.
I don't know. When do you pay?
Now.
Now?
As soon as possible, we need the checks by December 1st when the order closes.
Lynn, who do you make the checks out to?
From my area school district.
Thank you, Lynn.
You will deliver them where?
It gets delivered to the high school. Members and officers will go through and sort it. And then it gets assigned back to the person who sold it. So I think that order form is Peyton's, correct?
Yeah.
So then either you'll be in charge
Just
of
fun.
giving it back to you, otherwise, like I know Sue, when she goes to my church, I can give that back to her on a Sunday when I see her.
Yep.
Or it all can come to the district office.
Yeah, that's it.
And
That might be a
yeah,
little easier for everybody.
and you can just call us.
Is there a way
Thank
that
you.
if we don't want to do it tonight, that we could like get a hold of you guys?
Yeah.
Do all the FFA
I
does
need to
that?
consult with the meat and cheese eaters in my house
Yeah.
before I order anything.
If you dial the egg room, we'll get you set up.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Other questions that you guys have? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna count.
I think she's still paying.
Oh.
You're still paying right now.
Yeah, I'm still paying.
You're gonna get a check in a minute.
So you're gonna have to stay for a second. Oh, there it is.
I'll catch somebody, try and catch Lynn at
Yeah, you say yes. Salesman, eh?
Tomah
Yep, salesman, eh? That's the way to do it, buddy.
Okay. You get that in a minute? All right, sounds good. All right, next we have district strategic plan initiatives and student achievement, and under that we have the 2024-2025 Tomah High School Advanced Placement, our AP program, with Ms. Kathy Brookman of the Tomah High School and Dr. Sheyla from the Tomah High School principal.
Okay. Hi, my name is Kathy Brookman. I have been a teacher in the Tomah area school district for 24 years. I spent 10 at the high school, 10 at the middle school, and now I've come back to the middle school, or the high school just 4 years ago. In the 4 years that I've been back, I have been the AP teacher, AP Lang teacher, but more than that, the AP coordinator. So I'm the one who kind of gathers the information and presents to you how we did. So I have this year's information. So AP stands for Advanced Placement. It is through the College Board. So each AP class has to submit a curriculum to the College Board that has to get approved. You can go ahead, thank you. So students who you don't have to take the test at the end. You can, but you don't have to. Students who take AP courses have a higher likelihood of completing college education, stand out in their college admissions, build college level study skills, remain challenged by the coursework at the high school level, and complete a portion of college requirements at a reduced cost. So I have a couple things that I want to add in. I talked to all of my classes today about this, and I asked them, like, why are you guys taking these classes? Like, what is your benefit? Probably the number one was for cost reduction, to be able to get college credits for cheaper. But I did have 2 classes tell me one of them was for the challenge, and one of them was to be with my friends. Yes, that was the main consensus. Actually, it was with my friends who are like-minded students, and I was like, okay, that's a good one. So overall, our program is very healthy, I would say. If you would head to the next slide, thank you. So we currently offer 15 courses in person at the high school. So I have music theory up there with an asterisk because that test is only given every other year. And if you had specific questions, Alex is here, so he could answer that if you needed it. And then this year we are adding in pre-calculus. So we've always had a pre-calculus class, but this is the first year it's actually accredited through the AP program. So they will actually get AP credit for that. The other thing I want to say, that's fine, you can go, it's okay. The other thing I would just add in here, so I work closely with Lisa King then. She's been the AP sort of orderer. And just in talking with her today, she told me that every 10th grade 11th grade and 12th grade student and parent got an email about AP courses. So they could, this was available to everybody. They all knew about the tests, they all knew about the courses being offered, and so I think that's important to know that this wasn't just to kids who had taken AP before, this was to all 12 or 10, 11, and 12th grade students. So in 2024, those were kind of the last good numbers I had. We had 105 students who took at least one test. This year we had 170 students take 19 different tests. And I typically am here earlier, but I'm kind of glad that I'm here in November because we have our numbers for next year. We have 200 students taking 24 different tests. In AP Lang, we have 30 more students than last year. Pre-calc, it was at 0 before, so we have 61 students taking it this year. And then AP Psych has 70 more students. They went from 13 to 83 students that are signed up to take it this spring. So that's really great opportunity. One of the other students that I was talking to, she said, well, I was talking to someone who said, even if you don't take the test, or even if you take the test and don't pass, you're so much further ahead because you know that information already going into those classes in college. So they all, I would say they recognize the importance of these classes, and even if they don't pass, it's not a failure, but they're still ahead for where they want to go. So next slide, please. So this is the breakdown of this, and I'm an English teacher. Please keep that in mind. This is math stuff. So I pulled out a couple of things that I thought were important for you guys to know. So of the 247 tests taken, 157 of them had a passing score. So at the bottom you can see it's actually a 63.3% passing average, which is good. Our 3 biggest tests were AP Lit, AP Chem, and AP Lang. So the 2 English courses and then chemistry. And the scores were good. Of them, do I have how many were passed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Yes, that's the number down on the bottom. Yes, 8 had passing averages. So I didn't like go with the median or the mode or whatever, but you can see kind of the breakdown. 3s tend to be the most popular, and then the percentages go up or down accordingly. There were 19 different tests administered. So if you're unfamiliar with the AP program, kids can take an AP test that we don't teach. So an example of this is, we call it a push. So United States history, that is not a class that is taught in Tomah High School, but kids can still take that test. And I was asking a couple of them today, like, how do you do it? Some say they just self-taught, they would like go onto YouTube, but others you can sign up for an RVA class and do it that way because it isn't offered through our school. So even though there's 15 offered in school, we had 19 tests administered. Upcoming for the next year, we have a junior. She's currently a junior. She is signed up in 2026 to take 12 AP tests. We have a senior who has signed up to take 8 tests, and I believe that number says that there was 247 tests would have been ordered. For the 2026 spring, we have 395 tests ordered. So overall, I feel like we are in a really healthy place. Next one, this is the national average. So we, these are the national percentage of passing. Passing is a 3 or higher, so a 3, 4, or 5. Of those 5, we were above the national average in drawing, AP Lang and Comp, Human Geography, Statistics, and Computer Science. I would say the Computer Sciences, there were only about 3 people who took those tests. There were 2 different computer science classes, but it doesn't matter. They still did great. So that is where we stand. We're excited for the future. It is a little overwhelming maybe sometimes because everybody has left. The English department is like a lot of new people. So I have a new lit teacher. We have 2 new AP sophomore and AP freshman teachers, but we work together a lot. We use our collaboration time. They know what we need to do or what they need to do to introduce concepts to us. And so I feel like vertically we're aligned pretty well, and I look forward to seeing what's going to happen in the future here. So, do you have any questions or comments or concerns to share about the AP program? Okay.
I want to say that with my short time here, the Tomah High School students are very, very talented. You will see a lot more heavy promotion of college readiness in the future. I think we can do a lot more to really show our students that they can. You know, we need to build the confidence level for the students. And I want to decorate our high school a little bit more with college information. So students walk into a door, they will start seeing that this is a college-ready high school. So it's going to be a lot more like that in the upcoming year. Also, you know, every time I meet parents and they say, my kids may not go to college, and I say, that's not my decision. My decision is to get your kids ready. And if they decide not to go, I want to make sure that they know why they don't go. It's not because they just can't go. And so I'm going to do a lot of promotion for our students so that you'll see, you know, every day the students say, everyone here is a scholar. And I say, absolutely, you are a scholar. Some of you just have to work harder. You know, scholar doesn't mean just don't do anything. So I want to support Kathy by saying that, yeah, we have students who are doing so well. We can do a little bit more to promote our students. And thanks, Kathy. Thank you so much.
I do.
Is it a question for?
Yeah. If I can ask why, about the music, why it's only every other?
So what I do is the AP exam is offered yearly through College Board, but I offer the course every other year because in the off year I teach an introductory music theory course. For those, it's not AP, it's just 1 semester. And then, so I offer it both semesters, and then it's kind of like a prerequisite almost, not required to take it before, but if you did well in that course and you really liked that material, then I encourage them to take it the following year for AP. It's such a fast-paced course. It's one of the most difficult exams to pass. There's a whole written part, there's a part where you're listening and then having to answer questions, and then you do have to sing into a computer and submit that.
So does it give you, because I had music theory in college, does it give you where you have to write the chord structure?
Yes.
As they're playing the chords,
Yes,
and you
a
write
full harmonic
exactly,
analysis.
okay.
Yeah. It's difficult.
Yeah.
So we do offer it every other year.
Okay. That explains.
Any other questions?
Anything else for Kathy?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Alex didn't go very far, hopefully, and next we have consideration and possible approval of the Tomah High School Band Department request for out-of-district travel for the New York City trip, December 26th through the 30th of 2026.
Administration highly recommends approval. Thank you all so much for being here tonight.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Knepker, Band Director at Tomah High School. I'm joined by Jen Schroffnagel, TMS and THS Band Director as well. As Mike said, we are here to request the board's approval for out-of-state travel. We'd like to take our program to New York City next school year. We do a large trip every other year. As you might remember, last trip we went to Orlando and performed at Disney and Universal. It was a fantastic trip. And so we wanted to share a couple of highlights that we have planned as far as what that might look like. We would travel during winter break next school year. It'd be between the Christmas and New Year's holiday in that week. So there would be no missed instructional time, which we value simply because it is a lot of logistical work to make sure we get them caught up when we get back, and semester ends when we come back from break. So we want to make sure we're watching that. So we thought perfect time to travel. It's also a perfect time of year to visit New York. We'll be visiting a couple of places, one of them being Rockefeller Center, the giant tree, with the ice skating rink, so they can have those picture-perfect memories. Jen will talk about a couple of the things that we actually have planned. We always have a few fundraisers that we do in the band department, one of them being our Racine Danish Kringle fundraiser. They offer us a nice return on every Kringle, about $6 to $7 per Kringle in profit goes back to the kid. And then we do a few others throughout the year. Right now, based on estimates, it would look like it would be more cost effective to once again fly to the city. We would then take coach buses to our hotel, which we're looking at through our company, Bob Rogers Travel. We would stay in Manhattan at a hotel. What that would do is that would let us use New York City transportation to get to places, and we would not have to have coach buses for the time that we're there, the exception of one day when we plan to have a workshop at Yale University. And Jen will talk a little bit about some of those pieces. It's amazing what busing costs right now, right, Mr. D? But coach bus in specific is very, very expensive. And it's a little bit more cost effective per student to be able to utilize an airplane. So we do want to do that, not to mention the benefits of time. It cuts down significantly by about 20 hours on the commute there and back, which is great. Regarding price, it's looking like it's a little bit over $2,000 per student. We came to you now because we want to have the approval to go ahead and start talking about this and raising those funds with over a year to go for families to be able to afford that. And we do have a really awesome, it's a new sort of portal that they have through this company where you can make monthly payments towards your trip, almost like just a monthly bill that you have. But it doesn't, cost $2,000 at one time. It breaks that down throughout the year, which is a big ask of high school kids. So again, we do try to create some opportunities for them to raise a lot of money to be able to offset some of those costs. So Jen's got a couple of the highlights that we're planning on maybe doing. Again, this is a year out, so they're still up there in the sky, but a lot of high school bands have done these things and have great success.
So a couple of these things we have done on our Boston trip that I was able to do 7 years ago with Michelle. On a bus. And we did the bus. It was 18 hours, and please, I just want to fly. One way, 18 hours, all the things. So we would start off with Rockefeller Center, looking at the tree. We would also visit the Radio City Music Hall with a show featuring the Rockettes, which would be really exciting. We would take a ferry to Ellis Island and explore Ellis Island. We would visit the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, which Michelle and I had an opportunity to do 7 years ago, and it's very moving, and I think the students would really appreciate seeing that. We would participate in a Broadway workshop with a member of the orchestra from one of the Broadway shows. So an instrumentalist from the Broadway shows would come in, work with our students, which would be invaluable to them. We also would explore the Originals Macy department store, just like around Christmas, which would be kind of special for them. We plan to see about 2 or 3 Broadway shows, depending on what's available and depending on what's showing around that time. We would like to do a workshop with the Yale School of Music, hoping that works with their schedule as well. And then our last thing before we would do would be exploring Central Park.
So again, logistically, flying is obviously a lot better time-wise. I've been to New York too as a freshman student at THS. We marched in the St. Patrick's Day Parade, so we went around in that March timeframe. And of course, the year that I went, it was sleeting, and they were 2 hours late stepping off, and it was just awful. But we're not going to do any marching at Christmas time. But we thought, what a great time of year to go. And a great place for bands to travel just in general. So that is kind of where we're at with our current plans. That, over a year out, it's hard to gauge exact timings, but those are some of the highlights that Sarah, our rep, and we as the teachers have come up with. So we would ask the board for that approval. Are there any questions from the board we can answer about the trip?
Do you need any board chaperone?
If you can pay your way, you're welcome to come.
Chaperone if you need someone to keep kids in line.
It certainly is welcome, Katie.
I volunteer.
I just want to make a note. I know I try to keep the politics out of this room, but the political rate of what's going on in New York City is a concern of mine. It's just how are you going to combat, because you're going to use public transit. I don't have a problem with flying. I don't have a problem with the charter bus, none of that. But what are you going to do when you're in the subways and, especially with some of the crimes that have been committed lately, and of keeping these guys safe?
Well, and that's a concern that Sarah, our rep, had brought up and that we too share.
Okay.
Basically, at this time, what we're doing is we're just watching. We're watching and seeing, what are some of the things that are happening. With it being over a year out, we have some time, some buffer to really analyze that. One of the options is if we do feel that there's a real safety concern with using a subway or a bus or even just walking around, is that we can bring those charter buses back onto the table. And that's something that we certainly could do. It does add on a lot of time. Turning right in New York is not an easy thing. I remember when we were there and, one driver gets out and stops traffic because they have to back up and turn again. It's just horribly stressful. But it's certainly on the table if that's going to prioritize our kids. And so we'll watch that. That's something that we've also thought about. But at this time, we'll keep our eyes on it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions?
How many students do you anticipate?
Well, it can fluctuate. Today, we have 130 in our program at the high school, and we estimate that's going to go up based on middle school numbers. So I would say anywhere between 100 and 120 would likely be that final number.
So almost a whole plane.
Yeah, well, maybe we can get a charter. Any other questions for us?
To put them a little bit more at ease, what's the chaperone student ratio that you usually do?
We usually try to say between 8 and 10 per one chaperone is what we go for. And really what we did in Orlando that works so well is, each child knows who their chaperone group leader is. And so when we travel through the airport, it worked slick. It was like just a bunch of little families going through, right? They were all with their parent, and we didn't have to navigate 100 people going through TSA at once. It worked very, very well. She was first, I was last. Almost didn't make it on the plane because I got flagged. But everything was great as far as logistical pieces with that large group. So it was great. Any other questions?
I would think that would help with the safety as well, because you'll be in little mini pods.
Yeah,
Big pods.
not going to have a herd.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So.
sure. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
But
Thank you.
I do require that you report back. I mean, I know it's not for like another year and a half that you would report back, but we always like to see pictures.
Mission achieved, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Got a motion by Katie, a second by Teresa. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you both for coming and presenting. Good luck for the next year. All right, next we have service to the Tomah community, and under that we have a briefing from Colonel Sheyla Baez Ramirez, who is the garrison commander at Fort McCoy. Sorry, tongue-tied there.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Thank you, Dr. Hanson, for inviting us here. I'm accompanied by Sergeant Major Riddle. Sergeant Major?
Sure. I'll introduce myself real quick. Yep. So I'm James Riddle. I'm the Garrison Command Sergeant Major for Fort McCoy. I have been there for 6 months and 2 days now. And it's been a blast. We're having a great time. My wife's a teacher over in Sparta. She was looking at Tomah, but it was a little bit too far to drive every day. The logistics of getting the kids to daycare and stuff didn't work out, but she's a high school teacher over in Sparta. I just want to open my remarks real quick by saying thank you to Tomah community and the students for your support during our government shutdown. Just another example of the great relationship we have between Fort McCoy and our surrounding community. So thank you for all you've done to help get our employees and families through the fair. We appreciate it. And last, I'll make a plug for our ski hill. Our Whitetail Ridge Ski Hill opens December 26th. So contradictory to the FFA, we are hoping for some snow days between now and the 26th of December. They offer lessons. You can do everything from snowboarding, skiing, and tubing out there. So thank you.
All right. Yes, our ski hill is open to the entire community, so you don't have to be a service member to utilize the ski hill. So everybody's invited. A couple of other announcements that I have for Fort McCoy is the first thing that I like to do today is I really like to thank the district and the teachers. You guys are a super important part of educating and supporting our military children. And like everybody, might be aware of, our military children sometimes go through so many moves and so many things. And, coming to a district, coming to a community, and having all that support behind them is very, very important. And the Tomah community does that very, very well. The next thing that I like to do is I like to talk about a couple of announcements. Between now and the next, I would say probably 24 months, Fort McCoy is going to have a couple of organizations that are going to be moving to the installation. So what does this mean for the school district? We probably will have between 100 and 150 families moving to the areas. And a lot of these families, of course, are coming, with their children. So this represents, a big jump for both, school district, because when we get a new personnel at Fort McCoy, typically we have a 50-50 ratio between Sparta and Tomah. So I just wanted to make sure that we are giving you, advance notice. This is not happening tomorrow, right? But as we look at, this year, it's almost, halfway through. And, between now and the next 24 months, we could have a lot of things happening. So we want to make sure that we keep the community informed and let them know that we have organizations moving to Fort McCoy. And this represents, big changes for housing and for a lot of other areas as well. So I think it's important that we keep you on the loop of what's happening. The next thing that I like to talk about is our Impact 8 statement. And I know that most of the people that work in the school districts are very familiar with this. But for those who might not know, anybody who has a child that their parents either work at Fort McCoy, military members, civilian, or contractors, can turn into the school district their Impact 8 statement. And what this Impact 8 statement does for the district is federal funding gets assigned to each one of those districts to help you to buy computer equipment, to help you to do anything that you need to do to improve the school. So this is very important. At Fort McCoy, we encourage, all of our employees to turn in their documents, but we really like to ask the school district, this is for your benefit, right? So we wanted to make sure that everybody turning their documents, because this is a win-win for everybody. The last thing that I like to do is I really like to thank the Tomah community. The last couple of months, I have gone through some challenging phases in my career, in my personal life, and the Tomah community was very, very supportive. So I like to thank everybody. The truth always prevails, and things always come to light. So I really like to appreciate all the messages, appreciate all, the phone calls and everything, because the community was really, really supported, and I truly appreciate, the support that I received from everybody. Thank you, Dr. Haynes. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions for McCoy?
You can let your families know that Tomah has a junior ROTC program. Sparta does not.
And it's Army and not Air Force, so.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Next we have acceptance of gift of money and/or materials.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've got quite a few here, and always very excited for the strong levels of support from so many in our community. For the elementary school, a donation from Smart Sand in the amount of $250 to the from the Warren's Cranberry Festival Inc. to our middle school band, $262.70. From Oakdale Electric Roundup, a donation for our transportation assistance at $350. Our kindness community donations are to Tomah Middle School Web Program, $500, to the Tomah High School DECA Program in the amount of $500. Also from kindness community, donations to Tomah High School Link Crew, $500, and to Amy White's classroom for $500, as well as our Krejci Fund for school lunches, $1,000. A $2,000 donation to our elementary kindness Rachel's Challenge from the kindness community donation. That is fantastic programming at the elementary level there. We also have a lunch account donation from Jody Connor in the amount of $1,000. To the Wyville Playground donation, Tomah Lions Club, $1,000 for their playground at Wyville. And from Maplewood, 2 donations of $500 to the Tomah Area School District, an aggregate amount of $8,862.70.
Wow.
Sounds good.
I'll make a motion to approve the donations. Second.
Okay, got a motion by Heidi, a second by Teresa to accept those as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And thank you to all those donors.
It is incredible.
Communities.
I'm not sure.
After the fact, what is it?
Former Oakwood Terrace
Oh.
manufactured home.
On Sime Avenue? Yeah, I asked about that too, because I know it is.
All right, next we have the Joint City and School Committee meeting report.
Yeah,
Go ahead, sir. I was
No,
just
no,
going to say
no,
we
go
had
ahead.
had our second meeting, but Spencer, thank you so much for a briefing on that.
Yeah, we met, again, we're trying to maintain some relationship with the city and develop one because it had been kind of null and void for a while. Met the first thing, election of officers. Mitch Kale was the elected chair, and I don't know this other guy, Mike Genevico. He wasn't there, so he was elected vice chair.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah, and Nick Morales then is secretary. Most of the discussion was really around the crossing guards. You know, we had discussions about that, and the city had 4 for $24,000. We were talking about assuming some of those and to make them employees, the one. They're meeting, or they met this weekend. We'll know more as to what they came up with, because we'll see if the city wants to continue with paying them, or whether they will allow the Tomah Area School District to have them become an employee rather than pay the city for that or for the person. The other thing that came up that was very interesting too, a stop sign over on Clark and Monroe. And that's on one direction, boy, there's nothing. You know, you have a crossing guard, so the suggestion was to put a stop sign so you'd have a 4-way stop. And I know they were gonna have a meeting, we don't know the results, but they were gonna have a meeting in regard to that, see if that could be done, and if it was approved, they would do it right, you know, as soon as possible. And I think that's a great idea. We then talked about meeting structure and schedule, and we're gonna meet again on January 14th, and then we'll make some determinations to the frequency in that. And I think it's a good meeting. There are several council members there. We have the chief there, and I just think it's good, something we can just kind of build on.
Well, good. Thank you for that update.
The only thing I would add is the crossing guards, that more than likely is going to be removed from their budget. And there are just some crosses where we have literally hundreds of kids that cross that we're either going to have to pick that up. Well, we don't really have a choice. We have to.
Right. Well, I think the whole thing was, let's see what they came back with, because they do have it. And then we can leverage that and say they become an employee versus buying them. So yeah, that's, thank you.
All right, thank you. Nothing under future focused. And next we have workforce engagement. And under that, first we have the 2025 American Education Week, which was November 17th to the 21st right now.
Yes, this week we want to thank all of our district employees and just like Colonel Baez Ramirez said, you know, our teachers make it happen, our support staff, transportation, and every operational area, custodial, maintenance, administration, our substitutes, just everyone is just doing fabulous work to support our students, support our organization, and supporting our community. So this week is a celebration of that, and we look forward to other celebrations throughout the year as well.
You read a letter to the editor that was nicely written too. Thank you for that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for putting that in.
Heartfelt, doing great work.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and thank you obviously to everybody that he mentioned. All right, next we have the 2025-2026 Meet and Confer schedule of meetings. January of 26 and March of 26.
All right, our first one was just held last Thursday, went very well. I want to thank Teresa and Katie for chairing that. And I don't know if there's any highlights or just really appreciated the presence of folks. Had about nearly 20, I think we did. Well, pretty darn close. That's very good. Support staff and professional teachers. We're curating all of the recommendations, information that's coming from that. We'll get that distributed, and then what's great is 2 more meetings to continue to build attendance rates, get some more information. Maybe there were some recommendations, and now there'll be some more research or some opportunities to talk about, well, another school district does the same thing, and here's some suggestions. So we are looking at January 12th. The trick in any winter season, any season in school, is to find time where there's not any major events going on. January 12th, Monday, looks strong as a meeting night, and 6 p.m. So last one was a little bit earlier. We're going to start a little later on this one. I confirmed, Teresa and Katie, that there's no building level items from many of our administrators that responded, so there wouldn't be any. I was looking at faculty meetings. There might be one, but they end well before 6 p.m. So thank you both for checking your schedules and again chairing a very powerful meeting.
Right here.
Met here.
Yeah, we meet in this room, and I do appreciate the candidness of all the employees that did show up, so that we have an idea of where they're, so we can have a meeting of the minds eventually of what needs to go on. So lots of good ideas, very creative people.
Good. Good. Sounds great. Thank you. All right, next, finance and operations. And under that, we have consideration and approval of rearranging the academic year support staff paid holidays.
Administration recommends approval.
Yeah.
This is something that I should have brought to the board last year after our last meet and confer. The business office is all set up to do it, but when we got right down to it, I'm pretty sure we didn't inform the whole board of what we wanted to do. So this has been a request from support staff that work the academic year to take the Friday after Thanksgiving, which is a paid holiday, and the Friday of Easter, which is a paid holiday, and move those to December 24th and January 1st, so that the time during the holiday break is not so financially a burden to their families. Given that it's this late notice, we're able in the business office to let the support staff say, no, I want to keep it as is, or we will change it so that they get more of their holiday pay during December. Someone might be counting on that day at Thanksgiving, and we don't want to ruffle any feathers with that way. So we're able to do that for this year, but then moving forward, the Friday after Thanksgiving and the Friday of Easter would just not be listed in the handbook, but December 24th and January 1st would be listed.
So it doesn't cost the district anything.
Right.
So this is something that's been brought up at several of the meet and confers, and it's just something that would help it's just for the support staff, right? It's to help with the pay during that break.
Right, the bigger,
So something that we could do to show appreciation and doesn't cost us a thing, it's just a rearrangement.
Cool. Good. Thanks for listening. And you understand or good?
Yep. I think we have to motion.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and make this rearrangement happen. If you can, I can't find it on here.
Just say as
The
Michelle worded
holidays.
it.
As
presented.
Michelle, as presented, thank you.
Sounds good.
Second.
Motion by Teresa, second by Spencer. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, unanimous. Okay, on to unfinished business. Consideration and possible approval of updates to the Tomah Area School District Employee Handbook as presented.
Thank you, Board, for tabling this one and bringing it back. We do have a PDF version with those implemented within it. Administration recommends approval with the changes that have come through many of your policy committees, calendar committees, etc., or just actions right here at board meetings. So I'll just start to walk through the updates here. On page 9, you'll see a reference to the 2024 capital referendum. Changes are in green there. Then on page 10, a very small change. The word van is added on page 10 under support staff, bus and van drivers. On page 11, in the second paragraph,
Training days.
plus any relevant training days has been added. On page 12, you see some changes there. Providing, interest should be provided to the current principal of requested transfer position. That's a good communication piece, and practice that we have. We have some deletions on page 13, reflecting the change of calendars approved by the Board of Education previously. Intersession calendars no longer being used. Again, all of these were board action previously. These are just updates, except we just had a change here tonight that Michelle provided. Now we'll drop down to page 29. Thank you so much as I scroll through. It is a robust document. All right. We no longer use Frontline. We use Google Docs now for our educator evaluation. Also under safety and health, we'll want staff members to turn in their room and any other appropriate keys, or get those as well at the beginning of the year. As we move down to page 30, with our current calendar and the Wednesday early release, we'll have 2 full days, 2 full snow days. I don't believe one's coming tomorrow, but one never knows. So 2 full instead of 3. This keeps us on the hours pace. And everything after that will be remote learning, so we can end the year when we need to. Also on page 30, we have some deletions and changes there in terms of workers' comp. And this is beneficial for the employee. Alrighty. Then over to page 32, 33, student supervision. Uploading that entire policy there. Then over to 30, sorry about that. One, we've got all duties, staff members in the performance of his or her duties, they hear or receive threats or evidence, would turn in that as required. And down to page 40. We have taken out the stipend numbers there. They'll be reflected on Schedule B. Schedule B is where that will be. Alrighty, down to 45.
42.
Oh, 42, excuse me. Thank you. So, while there are no grading days on the calendar, there are professional development days. There is time scheduled for grading. On page 44, now that our 4K teachers are in that 4-day all-day, they are not needing any comp time. We'll keep everything else as is. Page 45, rather than a $27 notation there, the driver shall be paid for 1 hour of work. If that were to ever change off that 27, that one statement makes it clearer. Then down to page 47. Again, we don't have grading days. We have professional development days. But there is grading time in that January timeframe. Down to page 50. And that bullet there, personal leave may not be taken by any employee on all district in-service days. All district in-service days. Those are professional development days. That is our practice. Then we move down to page 52. And you'll see the changes to the support staff days. And then thank you very much for approving the other changes just made today. We'll get those updated in the handbook. And then our compensation models are changed each year once we finish negotiations, and we did finish negotiations for 25-26, so we just need to put the 25-26 salary, the compensation model for teachers, as well as our support staff, and then we've added the cycle L in there as well, and then here would be the support staff. Excuse me.
Is that the way?
Yeah, sorry, Schedule Bs are there, but support staff wages at the end. So we've got the updated athletics within the Schedule B and activities. So this is a long section here. Thank you for offering many, many different opportunities for our students. There's the bowling, our wrestling for boys and girls that have been changed. Our different directors that have been updated through board actions. And Act 20 that went in last year, and here's your support staff wage and staff schedule. Again, outside of that action that was for tonight, these have already been approved through other board activities, and this would bring the handbook up to its current status. I just went right through the last board meeting, which is still posted the list there, so this is the PDF version. That's all we have.
Any questions?
Is there any reason we can't add in the grading statement?
I could put some.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to get it, rather than just assuming they're going to get it. I think we've got enough issues going on that we take that wording out of there and just assume that we're going to give them that grading day. I think that needs to be put in the policies.
So how come, do we not have a handbook committee anymore?
The handbook committee
Did we
met
ever have a handbook committee?
about 3 years ago.
I was gonna say, I thought we did. How come we don't have that anymore?
Well, most of your actions come through policy, negotiations,
You guys talked about the
meet and confer.
Yeah, but, well, other than just another things that we've already done, you know, that
So
would
like
come through
who
policies.
made these changes?
The board has done all of these already.
But I mean like who brought it to, like, who made these to bring it to the board? Because I didn't put these in, so like someone
Right. They came-
redid this.
Most of those came to the policy committee. And then
Okay.
we approved them at some, like, the calendar committee, and like, we approved them. They were approved, but they weren't delineated as going in the employee handbook. You know what I'm saying?
So the
Kind of.
Okay.
So like with the taking out the grading days,
Right.
did that go through you guys?
No.
That was calendar committee.
That was
the
calendar
committee.
So the
So-
handbook is reflective of all of those
All
committee
of the
structures.
things that
and
we've
things we do
done,
here.
they get compiled here.
Okay. So I have a few different things. So I understand how, let me ask this first. How many PD days do we have?
3
During the school year.
school year, 4 in the pre-service.
And then,
What is the Wednesday? Aren't those PDs?
Those are collaboration days.
Okay.
Early release Wednesdays.
Okay.
so the PD days are part of the PLC, correct? And then they have the collaboration time for an hour on Wednesdays, right? So one thing I do know and have heard from many teachers, even outside of the meet and greet, or not the meet and greet. Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
It's been a long week and it's only Monday.
I know, we're good.
So, is that we know, and it's not just a Tomah thing, teachers are burnt out. We have things coming down from the government of they have to do this and they have to do this and they have to do this. Now, whether we agree on that or not, doesn't matter because we have to do it, right? If we can put anything in that can help reduce some of that burnout, we need to do it. I am gonna just be very blunt because that's the person that I am. I'm a huge supporter of the PLC, but if it gets to the point where the PLC is not doing what it's supposed to be doing because teachers are required to be doing more than they should be doing and it's not beneficial, then we need to take another look at the PLC. Because teachers should not be going to 50 million meetings a week. Principals should be in the buildings, not going to 50 million meetings a week. We're losing teachers, we're losing staff, we're losing a lot of different people because I think we've lost sight of what the PLC really should be, and it's not meetings. So that's my 2 cents. I think grading, as far as this goes, grading needs to stay in there because teachers need that time. Teachers are working weekends, nights, and I get it. I mean, they don't have time during the day to do it. So we should leave that in there so that there is specific time for them to be able to grade, but we also need to take a hard look at the PLC.
And it's a guarantee that they have that grading day. I mean, again, we're assuming that they're going to give it to them, but that doesn't mean then they have to. I think it has to be documented.
Can I have some clarification? Because are we talking about a full day of grading or are we talking about a half a day of grading? Because what Rick just said and what Katie has just said, they're advocating for a full day of grading. But what I heard from you, Dr. Hansen, was a half a day of grading. So I need some clarification. Which one is it?
Half a day of grading in January.
They get 1 half day of grading in January and that's it?
Correct.
That's been the last several years, so it's not.
Last couple of years.
But
So are the
if we document it
students,
in there, it's in there.
are the
If
students?
it's not in there, if we leave, then it's not, it's just
Are the students still in the building at that time or it's a half day?
It's a full day of professional development, so there's no students that day.
Okay. You can't give them an extra half day off of, have the students come in for their required minutes and then.
Both calendars
And
are
then
already
half that day
We're not
for
really
the
talking
other
about
half?
calendar right now, are we?
Well, we kind of, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Because this is
but,
part of the
If you add time off, then you have to add days
So
onto
while
the
the-
calendar.
Oh.
Well,
The calendars
if
are
it's a
set.
PD day, the kids aren't in the building anyways, right? So
Correct.
then
Yeah.
instead of doing a PD in the morning, can't
So-
they just have a whole
We've had a half day of PD and then a half day of grading, but based on whatever motion is made, any board member can make a motion on the product. But we absolutely articulated to administrators they were not to have any other activities in that half day.
And they didn't.
They did not.
Well, but, I mean, times change, and if it's in the handbook, it's in the handbook. I mean, I just think it's a security that we need, that they feel like we're
I agree
hearing
with that.
as we go along.
So on page 42, it just says time for grading,
Hold on.
both places.
Because I'm gonna make a motion, but I want to see first. Hold on, I gotta scroll, guys.
And time for grading is very vague. We need to at least, if we want them to have at least a half a day, we need to give them a half a day grading and be specific.
I'm gonna make a motion to give them a full day of grading instead of doing half a day of PD and half a day of grading.
Adding another day to the calendar or
not
changing a
like
PD
Just
day?
changing, so like if they're doing PD half day and then grading half a day. Because this would make it so that they'd have zero grading time.
We can only change, procedurally, we can only change the wording. We cannot procedurally change the calendar.
It wouldn't change the calendar.
No, she's saying take a PD day and make it a grading day.
Okay.
So the half PD, half
I'm
grading.
sure that day is already lined up and set. I mean, the half a day is already lined up and set. Angie only has 2.5 days throughout the entire school year when everybody is available.
Right, I understand that, but again, I think that we're putting PD and meetings and all of those things over teacher well-being. So I'm gonna come at it from a mental health perspective, that I think teachers are done. And listening to the meet and confer and talking to many different people, teachers are mentally done. Like they have to deal with so much. Giving them one full day for grading is gonna be just one thing to show them that like we care about them and their mental health, rather than saying, you can have half day of grading, but you still have to do half day of PD.
Okay, so what we're looking at is the calendar, or not the calendar, but we're looking at the policy handbook, or the handbook for our employees. So on page 42, we can only eliminate that line or add a word, I believe legally, but we can't do a whole lot with it until it goes through its process.
You can leave it in, and you can.
We can leave this in, yes, but
I do think that I mean, if
But
you
it's
want
still
me to revise
vague.
my motion, I'll revise it and say, I make a motion to approve the handbook with striking out the grading time, leaving the grading time in.
Okay.
And then as a separate side note, this needs to come back to us because we need to look at that.
Yeah.
So the motion would just be to approve all changes other than to leave the time for grading in.
We have one other comment before we just go away from that.
Oh, sorry. I got a little motion happy.
But it's not on this one, but it was a remote learning. I've heard some concerns that like the middle school's not bringing their Chromebooks or whatever home with them, so how will that work if we all of a sudden have a snow day that was not anticipated? How will we do
Let's do this first and then talk that.
what's that?
Let's do this.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were just
Yeah.
going away from this, that's why I didn't, okay.
We can't, we have to concentrate just on this.
I just had one concern, and maybe that ties into what you're saying. The effectiveness of PLC, we're going to see the results down the road. And we've already, as a group, decided if it's not effective, then we would pull the plug. I mean, that was basically the conversation, but we have to give it time. And hopefully that will free up time because they're not going to be dealing with all these issues, just like the PBIS is going to help structure that so that the teachers aren't as involved in some of those things. So I don't know, what is their time frame? How long is long enough? This is really new, and I'd like to have a chance. I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Let's just make sure we're on task
Okay.
so that the people that need to be in the room when we're talking about that are in the room. That makes sense?
Well, we got to make a motion on something today.
Well, yeah, but we're just talking about
There's a motion on the
Right.
floor, and it's just to leave that read in as is. Is that correct?
Yes, don't take out the grading.
There'll be a half-day of grading this year.
So it's basically these two phrases that say time of grading would just stay, or time of grading would just stay in.
Correct.
Half a day.
Okay, so a motion by Katie to that effect,
I'll second that.
second by Teresa. All those in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
And now the Chromebooks.
So it's just gonna stay.
Just a thought, as to where do we go from there? If they're not taking them home
Yeah, you
with them, how will it become a remote?
We've had some remote learning in the past, so
It's
once we
just
get
gonna stay
past
as
2,
it's
I
written
send
like
an
that.
email out to all the principals stating, be ready for, those times that we'll have something. So you just we'll keep an
So
eye on
you
the
send them
sky.
home with them
That's
after
okay.
the
A lot of them do take them
Might
home.
just take a half.
Like the middle school, they don't.
Michelle, can you tell me what,
Report on that.
Or I think, say again?
We could report on that next month.
I think so, because that's certainly something that was brought up in the meeting.
Okay.
And if the board is saying there's no more remote days, I will have to add days to the end of the year. So we'll just go with that. But let's
Yeah.
add that
I have
to
a-
the
I have
Board
a question
Academies
for you.
discussion. I think that's a great idea.
what was that last motion? Can you read it back?
The last motion was to approve the handbook updates as presented, except for page 42, leaving the end time for grading in.
There was
But-
one more
But there's
grading
not.
place, wasn't there? Maybe I'm just.
Okay.
It is referenced, yes, one more time on page 47,
Okay. Yep.
but we don't,
You don't have
We
it
don't have
actually in
any-
it, built in the calendar.
no, it's
Like,
not, there is no grading preparation days. That
Thank you.
language
They're
is
gone.
old,
They're all
like
gone.
3 years
I-
old.
So it's still good.
That's what I was gonna say, like procedurally, we just literally said something that the district cannot provide. It doesn't exist.
It's all gone.
It's already gone. So your wordage that we just took out, or we decided to keep in, isn't factually true because they don't have it planned in their calendar for them to have it.
But we do have it planned in the January PD day.
Right,
And all
but
it says is time for
under the
grading.
assumption that it's been relayed to the administration, not an actual plan, right? That's what I was going to, but we're already past that. Please
So-
continue the meeting.
So we're just gonna need to come back to this.
You can't, you already passed.
No,
That's already
no,
gone.
for next year.
Okay, next, we're gonna move into new business and take consideration and/or action on the following, which is the second reading and possible action on policy 0100 definitions and policy 0144.5 board member behavior, communications, and code of conduct.
Okay.
Thank you, policy committee members. If you'd like to talk about your recommendation, I'll bring these up.
I would like to, do you
We're gonna do
mind?
policy 0100 first.
Go ahead. Okay, so where it goes, we're going to leave the recommendation for including a foreign exchange student throughout that whole document. Then when it gets to personal communication devices, that definition, smartwatches, wearable technology, that is going to stay in. And then the rest of it is fine. Rick? Oh, wait, no, excuse
No,
me.
that's
That's going
wrong.
to be taken out, excuse me.
Yeah.
There
you go.
It's
No,
in
they're-
green.
we're
It should be
taking-
taken out.
We're taking that out because at this point in time, according to principals and so on, smartwatches aren't an
Right.
issue right now. And our understanding is if your smartwatch is connected to your phone, so if you're monkeying around with your smartwatch, you can take the phone away and disable it so then the smartwatch doesn't work. Right. Okay. There's going to be new information coming down from the state level regarding the state law that no phones in the classroom, but now that hasn't been addressed as to emergency situations in school and how those phones are going to be handled in emergency situation. So that information is still pending coming to us. So we're going to leave it as is. My understanding is we'll leave it as is for now. And when that information comes to us, we'll review it again. And then there's a couple of other policies that talk about networking and phones and so on. And then we'll get all of those continued on the same page.
So you're recommending this policy as presented with the smartwatches still?
No.
Taken out, I mean.
Take it out. Take it out for now.
Just the word smartwatches, wearable technology, otherwise this policy is exactly as presented.
The second paragraph, we were not going to have prohibited, right?
No, that's the next one.
That's a different
Oh,
one.
Next one.
Yeah, that's correct, Mike.
Okay.
We'll leave it as is for now.
For 100, this is.
This is
Are we
only going
including
100 right
the
now.
foreign exchange student though, correct? That's the only other change?
No,
We never talked about
There are some other changes.
So the only
except-
change to 0100, so we would need like a motion to approve a policy 0100, but taking out the word smartwatches and wearable technology.
Correct.
Okay, then I'll make that motion.
Okay, so we're all gonna deal with 0100 first by itself.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
We're good, I'm good, I'm agreeing with you.
Is that good?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
agreeing with you.
Yeah.
So,
I can't
Motion.
not say this, wearable technology has not been legal since I started as a principal. Like wearable technology would be like pagers and things like that way back then, 20 years ago. That stuff was not allowed way back then, but now we're going to allow it?
It's the watches.
Okay.
okay, motion by Katie, was there a second? I didn't hear.
I'll second it.
Second by Teresa. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
I think it's gonna change.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna change.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, 6-1 on that. All right, next then is policy 0144.5, board member behavior, communications, and code of conduct. Any discussion on that one?
There was go ahead.
Go ahead,
Well, we
Rick.
just talked about we thought the word on the second paragraph, it should be avoided is what it did read, and they put in are prohibited. We thought that was a pretty strong word for, kind of how it's written out or whatever.
Right.
We just thought that prohibited seemed like it was a little bit harsh for that, so we decided that we would leave the should be avoided in as presented.
And they made the suggestion, Neola made the suggestion of reputation, and that was the other caveat that was an issue, is the word reputation or, so leaving that out of it. So leaving reputation or, this is the second paragraph, reputation or, and are prohibited, leave that completely out and leave the policy the way it was written originally. That's that paragraph in that policy.
So did it originally read that compromises
So-
the legal position of the district should be avoided?
No, that's not what it originally says.
It said conduct by the board members that compromises the legal position of the district should be avoided. That was the original.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
But how do you think that?
Go ahead. No, go, keep going.
That was the only difference of not accepting Neola's whole presentation. Everything else seemed to be fine.
Okay, are you digging or?
I'm not gonna. I already talked about this. I sent a letter to the committee on what would make this policy legally sound, would protect board members, would add due process, which does not exist at all within this policy.
yeah, I'm disappointed.
Okay. Other discussion or motion, or go ahead?
Can Heidi tell us what her suggestions were? Because
She had them in that letter that she sent to all of us. Email.
Did you not receive the letter? You did not receive the letter? Can you?
that seems like what.
I didn't see it.
You didn't receive the letter?
Everybody got the letter.
It only went to the policy committee members?
Oh,
That was it?
that's why I didn't get it.
Probably.
Did it go just to the policy
Just
committee?
policy, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Sorry.
But everybody was asked to turn something in, so.
Oh, that's right.
It was, Heidi addressed it the last meeting when we did the first read, so a month ago, in her comments. So I don't know if we're able, am I able to pull up the letter so that we can, the rest of the board can know, or be refreshed on it? What?
Well, wouldn't
Can we
Heidi,
leave-
Heidi is,
Heidi
should
can
just want
to summarize?
say her comments
Yeah.
if she wants to, I would think. If she doesn't, then.
At this point, what's being presented would be what we can only vote on tonight. The comments would go, again, as Dr. Hansen procedurally did, it would go right back to the calendar, or excuse me, the policy committee for them to be able to make the changes on there. How this is procedurally written tonight, we wouldn't be able to discuss. It would be.
So would you suggest that we throw it back to the policy committee one more time?
Not suggesting anything at this point, so.
We could though.
Yeah, we can.
It's consideration, so it's discussion of it, which means that, because if we aren't allowed to discuss anything that comes to the school board, how are we gonna get anywhere? Like, we don't have to just vote yay or nay.
Oh, you can discuss it, yeah.
Right. So if it's not,
So.
I guess I kinda wanna know what your thoughts are
Yeah,
with the due process, cause I'm trying to see how you're seeing it.
So specifically for due process, like the enforcement section that is listed on the board member behavior and communications, first of all, it basically throws it right and says the authority is delegated to the board president in this policy is automatically vested in the board vice president in the event that either the board president is unavailable or the board president and the board member accused of violating this policy. And then it goes down into the qualifications, all that kind of stuff, but it lists the consequences for board members, as in you would have formal censure by resolution passed by the majority of the board in an open session, board removal from committee assignments for the remainder of the year or until the following organizational meeting, restriction, referral, all this kind of stuff. So when I sent the letter to the policy committee, I basically was saying that there is no due process in this policy at all. The suggestion made would be saying any disciplinary action shall follow due process, including written notice of the allegation, an opportunity for the board member to respond, and a record of findings approved in open session unless exempted by law. And that aligns and is compliant with the Wisconsin statute regarding personal matters, maintaining transparency in board governance. So my concern is, especially when you get into language in here of perceived conflict of interest, as well as when you're throwing in the language in for qualifications of the office, meaning that we could be discrediting candidates before they even get a chance to go to vote for the public. And then for just, again, setting board members, because this is, usually more geared towards them of, if you're accused of something, or if you're, perceived of rolling your eyes, being negative towards one another, all that kind of stuff, you're giving the board president authority to basically kind of just dictate how that's going to go, comparatively to giving the opportunity for board members to not only clarify but give it an open public process, which would be allotted to any government elected official in the state of Wisconsin by law. It opens us up to a lawsuit possibly in the future.
To keep it worded like this?
Yeah,
Or
I would believe so, absolutely. So,
Can we take this back again? Can we just table it again and throw it back to the policy committee and have it rewritten so that allows for a
lot
due
of this
process?
is First Amendment rights, and I understand, and I've kind of dug really deep into Neola and, why they're making the recommendations that they do. But I'm also, I'll say it pretty bluntly, as you guys have been talking kind of all night, this policy is more designed to protect the district than it is to the elected board members, especially when you get into language of reputation, which cannot be proven in court at all. So.
Which was my issue with it, was the subjective language.
Right.
So in my eyes, I was thinking that if we just keep it as is.
Of the original policy versus not
Right,
adopting
but
any
now that's why I
changes.
wanted to hear what you had to say about
Right.
your
So,
view.
Like, if this was to go forward, I couldn't vote in good conscience on this, especially with no due process rights to any board members that are on here, as well as anybody who would be potentially running for election for a seat on this board. And there's 3 seats up in April.
I mean, I don't really think that there should be any changes other than there.
So did the policy committee already?
Yeah, we've had it twice. No.
Yes, we've talked about it twice. But I'm willing to go back and do it one more time, but we would have to rewrite this whole darn policy.
Right. What Heidi's asking, it would be a
would be
total
advantageous to
redo of the
keep
whole
it the
policy.
It would be, say that again?
What Heidi's asking, it would be pretty much a total redo of the whole policy.
Right, comparatively to if we just didn't adopt it at all.
Okay. Anybody got an action?
I think we just let it die.
You can't make a negative motion.
So if there's no motion regards to it at all,
No changes happen.
Then it stays the same.
this stays as was.
As was, yeah.
As it was,
Okay.
yes, correct.
Okay.
So it will just,
Okay. Anything further on this, or I'm gonna move on? Okay. No action on 0144.5. So next would be consideration and possible approval of the Wisconsin Association of School Boards 2026 Delegate Assembly Primary Delegate and Alternate.
In the past, the Board of Education President has served in this capacity. The board can nominate or elect anyone they wish. But recommendation is that the board president had been doing it in the past.
Can I get some clarification on what this person does and what
It's at the
happens?
convention. I go and or whoever goes. You go and you sit in on, like, when they do all the big policies. So you're in the big room and you're representing Tomah there. And it'll like, these big policies will come up for the WASBA stuff. And people will just talk about it. It's kind of like we just did with policies and stuff.
So like the Neola policies and so forth, like is that what kind of policies you're talking about? Or are you talking more of like the lobbyist policies that would be
Yeah,
being
it's
pushed
not so
towards
nitty-gritty stuff like
legislators?
this. It's the bigger item stuff.
You give an example.
I'm trying to...
Legislative platforms, right?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about those at the Board Academy or December regular. They just came out with those.
Okay.
And so what they'll go into is a very similar process as this. And I walked by a few times and it's people go into the mic, here's pros and cons of any particular position, and then there's votes and parliamentary procedure, things like that.
So does this like basically give
On the WASPA stuff.
Yeah, what is it? The WASPA.
It's like it's the WASPA policies,
WASPA.
right? It's just the WASPA
Okay.
policies.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same thing as like we just went through. So somebody will be like, I represent School District of Black River Falls, and I think that this wording should be changed to this, and then the whole room.
Like for like board docs and stuff, or for
No.
like?
No.
No.
WASB.
Right.
Okay, so like,
legislative
legislative, okay, so we're looking at lobbyists, what we're asking them to go to our legislative branch, basically on behalf of the school districts. That's basically what we're voting for.
It's the wording of how we want it to be presented to the legislators. Am I correct? That's what this one is, right?
So a lot of it is, yeah.
And they just tease out the wording. Some people don't like they, some people don't like it, some people don't like.
It's a lot of little things like that.
How long is this meeting?
Usually
A couple hours.
they're screaming to get out of there.
Are you going to be going to the convention?
I did sign up. I did.
It's usually they're at the end, they're usually trying to let's go, and then people are
Is
trying to
this
rush
the
it
last
through at the
day
end.
that this is on, or?
No, it's in the middle of the convention.
Okay.
So then can I nominate? Or how does that work?
Anybody can.
That's what you're doing tonight, you're nominating that
Just
person.
do I just nominate? I just want to make sure procedurally, I'm going to nominate Heidi to be the delegate, assembly, primary delegate. Did I say that right?
Second for
You're
Heidi.
welcome.
But you wanna do an alternate right away
Do you want to do
too?
an alternate right away?
Oh, I have to do an alternate?
Well, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to do a primary and then an
Yes,
alternate.
primary and an alternate.
I just had a primary.
I'm going.
She doesn't know who else is going.
I'm going also.
This side of the table's going.
Oh, the whole side of the
Yeah,
table?
whole side of the table.
It's gonna be great.
It's not that big a deal, especially if Heidi's not gonna skip out, so.
Heidi's not going to skip out.
Yeah.
But you might get sick, you should have
So
somebody.
if they have an alternate.
Stuff happens.
Somebody, yeah.
And the alternate usually sits in the back.
Would it be really that bad?
If they. I remember doing that in Arizona. We used to switch off the alternate and the.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Okay, then
Do we have to go
I-
forward?
As the.
Well, you made a nomination for,
Yeah, but I think we have to do 3 nominations, right?
well, that's the
So-
point before we go to
Okay,
the
so I'm
next
gonna-
alternate. You have to-
Primary as Heidi, alternate as Mike.
Okay. Second for that. Second by Rick. All those in
Thanks,
favor say
Rick.
aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Opposed?
I'll vote for myself.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so Heidi, you're at that meeting, and if you get
Just
sick
tell
or
me
don't wanna
where
go,
the
let me
heck
know.
is going on.
Don't get sick.
It's not that.
No, as I recall,
Now I can pick another
that
section to go to.
as I recall, they
I owe
send
you a
out
coffee.
a lot of
I
items
owe
that
you
they're
a
gonna bring up for
conversation.
discussion.
You will get-
and narrow it
you will get a
down
packet.
even
You get-
before
Yeah.
this. So
Dr. Hanson will get a packet that you'll hand to her before, usually I think.
Everybody will get that.
everybody gets one.
You can walk it through.
Okay, next, consideration possible appointment of 2 board members to serve on the Prospective Board Candidate Meeting scheduled for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025 at 5:30 at the district office.
You never know, we may have 0 and up to 5 or 6 attends, so just need 2 folks, 2 board members to.
If you haven't done this before, I have, and I'm not saying I want to do it. It basically, you just sit there, and if anybody comes in that's interested in being on the board and they have questions, we usually go through a thing that says, this is how many meetings we have, this is the type of thing, and then people can just kind of, it's just kind of open, like,
I already volunteered for this. I already sent an email.
So did I.
Does it matter?
I've had 2 emails. Heidi and Teresa, thank you for letting me know you're interested. But,
I'd say it should probably, I don't know if it matters, people that are up for election, whether they were there or not, they probably
just
maybe better that we weren't, I guess, I don't know.
Oh, I think everyone's got good perspectives on what being a board member is.
So what did you say? You said you already had 2 interested?
Yeah.
But thank you very much for reaching out.
You too?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So somebody, oh, I can just appoint, right? Yeah, so we'll just appoint. Yeah, so we'll appoint Heidi and Teresa are going to do that.
conversations.
Thank you very much.
I didn't volunteer for that one.
All right, upcoming events and activities are embedded.
Yes, you bet. Thanks so much. A lot going on out there, and busy December as we head into the new year and getting into the WASB conference.
Cool. One thing left.
I'll make a motion to adjourn
I'll second.
Second,
before Heidi.
Motion by Katie, second by Heidi. All those in favor
third,
say aye.
fourth. Aye.